Today, I'm pleased to announce that my administration has approved the extradition of one of the plotters and one of the very evil people of the world.
मैं राष्ट्रपति जी का आभारी हूं। उन्होंने 2008 के उस मुजरिम को अब भारत के हवाले करने का निर्णय किया।
Gentlemen, a very good evening. We are on News Night and I want you to look at this figure on your screens. Remember this number always. It's been 5,978 days. 5,978 days since the gruesome attack that we saw on 26/11. That is how long it has taken to get the man called Tahawwur Rana. His first pictures already are out and we'll put those pictures also here on our screens. These are those first pictures. You see that man with his back towards the camera. He's the one now in the custody of the NI, that's the National Investigative Agency. But this is the man, 63 to 64 years old. He's finally been dragged back to the country. But the real story begins now. What will he say from here on that possibly could change a lot of things? And that is our focus on the show. As I again say good evening to all of you. And let's put more details of how the story has moved through the day. Remember, it is a bombshell. It is a bombshell on this big war on terror. You have the man called Tahawwur Rana, who's perhaps the fourth most wanted terrorist that India has hunted. But India also wants Dawood Ibrahim. India also wants a Hafiz Saeed, and India definitely wants a Masood Azhar. And this man, as he's landed in the country, and like I said, the first picture is already up on your screens, 5,978 days after the 26/11 Mumbai attacks. But who's this man? Why did we want him? He's a Pakistani origin Canadian citizen, and he's been earlier nabbed in Chicago. The year was 2009. He is the mastermind who's linking Pakistan's ISI, that remember is their deep state, and the Lashkar-e-Toiba to the Mumbai massacre that has killed 160 plus people. He's a trusted ally of the Pakistani generals. He's built a huge terror pipeline that has fueled the entire carnage. So why does India want him? What is it that will happen next? Do remember Rana, the man called Tahawwur Rana, whose pictures that you see on one side of the screens, along with the other most wanted people that India now needs. But Tahawwur Rana, the man, ladies and gentlemen, is a walking revelation. He's a walking, talking proof of Pakistan, its nefarious designs. And yes, what has Pakistan said? No, we have nothing to do with him. He is not our citizen. Plausible deniability is something that Pakistan works for the longest time on. But not any longer, because his testimony now, ladies and gentlemen, could expose Pakistan as a terror-sponsoring state. Not that we don't know this, not that the world does not acknowledge it, but the fact is that for how long can Pakistan continue to deny this? You have the ISI's orders, you have money trails, you have state-backed bloodshed. Everything is going to be laid bare in the next many days to many next weeks, as you will see this interrogation shaping up. From the Chicago sleeper cells to the European networks, he holds the key to smashing the global terror networks. And this isn't just justice. A lot of people say this is justice, but we say this is not justice. It has to be more than that. This is a geopolitical sledgehammer. You have Rana's words, who literally could choke Pakistan. You're wondering how? Because there is an FATF blacklist. You have UN sanctions. You could have a total isolation of Pakistan that could just now and begin. And that is why Pakistan already is looking nervous tonight. And like I said, Pakistan says we have nothing to do with this man. But they said the similar thing, the similar response even on Ajmal Kasab. So as Pakistan flounders, you have Balochistan literally breaking, and Pakistan's own leaders are reeling. Could this be its death knell? Could this be the final lane in Pakistan's coffin? Stay tuned as we dissect the interrogation that, ladies and gentlemen, for sure will be reshaping the terror map across the world now. First up, as always, we get you a straight question. So what you must know is that why is getting Tahawwur Rana so very important? What is it that man can tell us? What is it that he can do that holds so much importance? What really will his interrogation reveal? Because there is a lot on the agenda, there is a lot that has been discussed, and there is a reason why Pakistan already is looking so perturbed. Is Rana's extradition, that is our next question, the biggest snub to Pakistan's denial tactics? Don't forget, he's been extradited from the USA, from the United States of America. You've heard that response that came in from Donald Trump saying that he needs to be extradited. We've approved that request, and the Prime Minister literally pushing for it. This brings us to our next straight question. Why is this, ladies and gentlemen, a huge victory for India? You accept this or not, this could not have happened unless and until our agencies, our counterintelligence agencies, the political establishment of the day has been pushing for this for the longest time. And the final straight question, who's going to be next? Is this going to be Dawood Ibrahim and Hafiz Saeed next? We will also, in fact, stay live on the story. I'm told we have our colleague Aishwarya joining us right away. Aishwarya, where about you at this point in time? Where is this man? What happens next?
Well, what we can confirm to our viewers is that all the paperwork has been done at the Palam Technical Airport, and it was a medical test that was being done inside the Palam Technical Airport that took so long for Tahawwur Hussain Rana to take out. Now what we have been told is that he has been taken to the Patiala House Court, and he would be reaching in next 15 to 20 minutes at the Patiala House Court, where he will be produced in front of the judge. Now we can confirm to our viewers that after a long wait and a delay that was taking time, it was all those paperwork. The investigative agencies want to tick all the boxes, be it the formal work or being taken the custody, as the NIA clearly mentioned that as soon as Tahawwur Hussain Rana landed on the Indian soil, they arrested him, and then later the formalities needs to be done. The medical test got delayed, the entire hours that we were waiting for, and when the test results came and the final medical test report was done, it was the team of the NIA with the NSG and the Delhi police security officials have now taken Tahawwur Hussain Rana from the Palam Technical Airport towards the Patiala House Court, where he will be produced in next few minutes, and the NIA would further seek custody of him. So clearly now it is close to that hour when we will see Tahawwur Hussain Rana at the Patiala House Court and will be produced in front of the judge.
Shwarya, you're bringing to us certain important details, and this is a story that many say has just begun to unravel. There is a reason why Pakistan earlier in the day has put forward a response by saying, listen, he's a Canadian citizen, he has nothing to do with us. Obviously wanting to ambush the real truth, but it's time for that truth to come out, Aishwarya. What are you learning from your sources? Because, we've earlier spoken to the former DG of the NIA who has collected evidence against this man, and he makes it very clear that there is ample evidence. We have electronic evidence, we have emails, we have chats, even with the handlers in Pakistan.
Well, and dossiers after dossiers were filed. There were charge sheet and supplementary charge sheet that was filed. In fact, it was the testimonies of David Coleman Headley that clearly stated that it was Tahawwur Rana who was the main conspirator and someone who was aiding the terrorists. He was the one who also was speaking to the officials sitting back in Pakistan, the mastermind behind the entire attacks, and also the logistical support was given by Tahawwur Hussain Rana to the terrorists as well. He ran an immigration company with the help of his childhood friend David Coleman Headley, and certainly that also led to the entire process of giving the documents documents or having the the paperwork done for the 12 terrorists that came on the Indian soil. So all of those had been the documentation evidence that already the agencies had. But finally now, when Tahawwur Hussain Rana is in the custody of the Indian agencies, they will have the fresh testimony, and that will be a befitting reply to the Pakistanis who had clearly disassociated themselves with Tahawwur Hussain Rana. We all know for the fact that he has worked for the ISI for a longer period of time, and that's how his sources was. Certainly today it's a big victory for the Indian government, as with the coordinated efforts with the US officials, the NIA, NSG and the top officials from the MHA, MEA had extradited finally Tahawwur Hussain Rana, and he landed at 6 to 7 p.m. at this very airport, at the Palam Technical Airport. And after the entire paperwork process being done and the medical test being done, when the reports came in, it took long, as it was earlier reported that he may be produced at around 8 p.m. or so to the Patiala House Court in front of the judge. But the agencies wanted to finish that very properly, and now with a safe passage, Tahawwur Hussain Rana being taken to Patiala House Court is what
All right, Aishwarya, why don't you stay with us? Because, NDTV is tracking the story from every possible angle. We'll, open this story layer by layer. We'll talk of the Pakistani angle also. And I quickly want to say good evening to both Robert Dawes, who's an expert on intelligence and counter-terrorism, and also the former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, SP Wedsa, for his time and patience on the show. Gentlemen, it's a live developing story, so I want to also keep going back to our team of reporters tracking this. I also have Ghazali, who's just outside the Patiala House Court. Ghazali, if you could just move around, move your cameras, give us a sense of what possibly could happen in the next few minutes. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah, certainly. But we have been told, as Aishwarya is reporting, that he has left from near the airport. So I'll just tell you, we are right now, I'll ask my camera person to show you here. This is the kind of deployment of the police here outside the gate number 4 at Patiala House Court. This is, the gate is identified as something like the family court of the Patiala House Court. We have a similar deployment on the opposite side, near the gate 1, the main entrance of the court. And we are being told that generally the hardened criminals or somebody who is facing heinous charges are brought in from that side of the court in a vehicle. But a huge deployment here suggests that perhaps this could be the route through which Tahawwur Hussain Rana with the NIA team will be brought here. The exact time is not known, but the public prosecutor, senior advocate who will be representing NIA, and another advocate from the Delhi Legal Services Authority, he will be representing Tahawwur Rana. They are all inside the court. Nobody is allowed to even get inside the court, leave alone the courtroom. There is huge security there. The police are manning not just this gate, but the other entrance gates of the Patiala House Court as well, waiting for the NIA to reach here as soon as possible.
Okay, so I do see a lot of police bandobast beside, just behind you, and that is but obvious, considering that he today possibly holds the key to what could be putting Pakistan in a deep spot. And, Ghazali and Aishwarya, please stay put with your permission and just alert us in case there is any activity where you are reporting. I quickly want to get in both Robert and also SP Wedsa for their first response to what has happened so far. SP Wedsa, how do you see this story? What is the biggest takeaway that you see here? This is a new India, an India that does not forgive, an India that does not forget. But it is important now, sir, to nail Pakistan.
Well, I think it's the domino.
Yes, that question is for SP Wedsa.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening. The message is very clear that whoever commits terror incident in India and tries to harm India or Indians, wherever you hide in the world, we will get you. That message today is very, very clear. And I must compliment our Prime Minister, his personal equation with President Trump. You heard President Trump when Prime Minister was in US that this evil man needs to face Indian law and pay for his crimes. So this would not have been possible if Mr. Trump was not the president, number one. Number two, see, a lot of, during the interrogation, a lot of things are going to come out. I personally feel the Mumbai attack, the scale of it, this kind of massive attack cannot be executed by the pretext which Pakistan generally takes, that
Absolutely.
non-state actors are operating without our knowledge. This is just a pretext by Pakistan. I'm very, very sure I have seen ISIs working in Jammu and Kashmir for the last 35 years. This scale of attack, where 166 people were massacred
Yes.
and hundreds were injured, cannot be executed without the knowledge.
Absolutely. SP Wets up, because time is of the essence. I want to get Robert into this conversation very quickly. And important that you spoke about Jammu and Kashmir and how you've seen plausible deniability vis-a-vis Pakistan. We also have, a graphic element to tell us more about the Pakistan connection of this man called Tahawwur Rana. As we play that on our screens, Robert, tell me something. How worried should be Pakistan tonight? Because there is so much influx that Pakistan itself is dealing with. But this is the evidence. Just think of it. Whatever you would hear Tahawwur Rana speaking, those tapes, if they actually, are shown at the UN Security Council, if they are shown at the FATF, would that not amount to total sanctions, total isolation of Pakistan, something that needs to be done now?
Well, I think this is what you see today. You saw Pakistan come out and deny him being a Pakistani citizen, which is, kind of ridiculous, because most Pakistanis hold dual citizenship, especially if they're Canadian or American. So for them to say, well, he didn't update his documents, is kind of a frivolous argument. And I think you can see by President Trump's stance as far as putting Pakistan on kind of the orange warning notice as far as visas, that he is beginning to put pressure on the Pakistan military and try to bring Pakistan into, you could say, more into compliance with being a good actor in the region. And we've seen for years where Pakistan, ISI have been agitators, Afghanistan, India, throughout the Middle East, right, where they constantly are brought up. Also, to kind of give you kind of something that I have done in the past, back in 2015, because you were talking about some of the other actors that have gotten away and haven't been brought to justice yet, but I tracked down and sat in an office with Mohammed Dosa in Dubai in 2015. And nothing ever came of that, right? So he and his sons are still holed up in Dubai.
Okay.
And I think that's a major issue that has to be addressed, because these are another level, equivalent to Rana as far as orchestrating and supporting the attack. And like you said, Dawood Ibrahim, the major instigator with the Pakistan ISI, really needs to be brought into justice as well.
Okay. All right. I'm just requesting Robert and SP Waits up to please wait. We'll also go back to both Aishwarya and to Ghazali in just a moment, who are live tracking the story right now. Because the man, remember, that you see on your screens, this Spark agent who has deep connections with the deep state, that is the ISI, and who's also acting as a front of the LET, that is the Lashkar-e-Toiba, in fact, is going to be at the Patiala House Court very shortly. You see massive police bandobast there. But before that, let me introduce a very special guest on the show very quickly for you, because he's the man, ladies and gentlemen, who's fronted this investigation. It is because of him, YC Modi, that you see on your screens, who's been the former DG of the NIA, the National Investigative Agency, that has collected all evidence against this man. Mr. Modi, sir, thank you so much for speaking to us here on NDTV. It's an absolute honor. It's a story developing very fast, but a big day for you today. All the evidences that you collected have ensured that Tahawwur Rana today is in India, and Pakistan already looks like it is on its knees.
It is certainly a big day for the country. It's a big achievement for the country. It's a big achievement for our political bosses. It's a big achievement for NIA. You know that extradition is a very complicated procedure. In extradition, we have to work at two levels. One is at the political level, when our political executive has to have good relations with the host country of that terrorist, because unless there is agreement on that and the government of that country, host country, is ready to give that person to the demanding country, nothing can happen. But along with that, there are so many legal requirements which are supposed to be completed by the investigating agency and other wings of the government. So in this case, first of all, we can say with pride that there was full resolve of the government to bring this person back to India for facing the trial, and this effort of political leadership was fully supported, ably supported by NIA. In this process, effective evidence was collected, and which was given to American prosecution agency, which in turn presented it to the court, because any person who is to be extradited, he has also some rights as per Extradition Act of that country. So this man, Tahawwur Rana, he utilized all the opportunities available under the law, and we ensured in the NIA that there is no lacuna, there is no lapse that can hamper this man's extradition to India.
Oh yes, obviously, and that is the reason why we see this man here in India tonight. I'm just thanking you for the moment, Mr. Modi, for your quick perspective and your quick take on this. And let's also quickly deep dive to get you a live reportage on what's happening outside the Patiala House Court, because that is where Tahawwur Rana is headed next. Ghazali continues to stay with us. We'll quickly, in fact, get him on our screens. Ghazali, how much more time before he's there, and how long should the process take? You know, considering that he's a high-value asset, security is of prime concern, and clearly, you know, we could be looking at a lot of things moving very, very fast now.
See, Deepthi, I'll just ask my camera person to show you this road from where the convoy will come, and if the traffic stops here, even for a while, then we will be on alert to share that his convoy is just close to the Patiala House Court gate number 4, from where he is very likely to make the entry. Now, once he enters the court, the argument is very simple for the agencies, that they will seek his custody, either a judicial custody or the police custody or the agency's custody. So that may not take a lot of time as per the legal luminaries here who are also covering this event, because nobody is allowed inside the court, leave alone the courtroom. There, huge security even inside the court premises. You will see all these cops here till the end of the entrance gate. My camera person will show you from here, and there is very tight security considering the high value terrorist we have got here, Tahawwur Rana. After almost over a decade, he is getting over here. The legal challenges, more than legal challenges, the basic challenge for the agencies would be to get more details, because he is not going to face trial or even interrogation or investigation for the first time, because he has underwent all that in United States, and that is exactly why he knows the procedure as well. He knows what the Indian agencies are looking for. Time and again, India has established...
I just interrupt you here to tell our viewers that what they see on one side of their screens are images of just a little while earlier that has been captured by our cameras. This is the entire convoy that is headed now to the Patiala House Court, where you will be looking at those proceedings getting underway in the next few minutes. Trust NDTV to keep you ahead on that story with the first pictures, the best analysis, and also to understand why is this moment, ladies and gentlemen, so very important. Why is today the extradition of the man called Tahawwur Rana a game-changer moment for the fight against terror when it comes to India, an India that has a new resolve but also is equally worrying when you think of Pakistan? What could Pakistan be thinking right now when they look at these images is anyone's guess. As you've heard all our guests, whether it is SP, Ved or Robert, apologies, we couldn't really go back to them again for a second comment, only for war of time, considering that this is a live developing story. But I also will thank quickly both Ghazali, Aishwarya, and also Mr. Modi for, all their time and insights into this story, as we'll continue to keep you ahead. But as always, this is also Newsnight's spotting shot to help you understand what are the big takeaways on the story tonight. Now, the extradition of Tahawwur Rana, ladies and gentlemen, marks a thunderous geostrategic triumph for Bharat, for this new India, for our agencies, for our counterintelligence, and also for this unrelenting resolve. This is a new India, an India that does not forgive An India that also will never forget, because 26/11 cannot be forgotten. The lives that we lost cannot be forgotten. And that is why every enemy of our sovereign, national and geopolitical interest will have to face the same fate. Dragged back to justice, no matter where they are, no matter where they hide, no matter how many alibis they continue to make. Dawood Ibrahim, Hafiz Saeed, could you be next? We never know. The clock is ticking and India's reach, remember, is limitless tonight. That's all for Newsnight. Thank you so much for your time. But this is also a promise. We'll keep your eye on that big story. Stay vigilant. Stay with us. Thank you for watching. Good night.